Hello everyone, and welcome to the Edain Mod. Today I'm going to be showing off a replay that I played with myself and a friend called Anichan on Stonewayne Valley. And I originally was planning to save this for a little bit longer, so I had like a couple more replays. But for those that watched the Twitch stream, it didn't go. I had a crash at the end of the second game, and I didn't have enough time to try and get a third. So I'm just going to be showing off this battle now. So I was playing as Rohan, always going for draft. Anichan was playing as Mordor, and we were against a dwarves and an Angmar. Now Anichan straight away going for orc pit and going for the farms to decrease the cost of orcs. I was going straight to build an outpost, and I also was recruiting Edain at the time, building 2 stud farms, because my strategy was to go full economy. I was not going to waste any time just going and taking everything as quick as I could. And yet with Edain, just using cruel taxes as he enters is the way to go. I was having him go down there to build a farm so I could put draft onto it and just get a few peasants for the meanwhile, while I was getting my exile camp. Because the exile camp, let's just say, when you're playing with a friend and they can deal with all the melee infantry and you can just go all cavalry, is the best way to play Rohan, in my opinion. And yeah, he was getting badly assaulted at the beginning, both by the dwarves with aggressive stance and Warhorn. Oh, I can't actually show off the AI's things. But yeah, Angmar and the dwarves were doing some massive damage to the central building, which is fine. I was building stud farms in the back, and the Rohan farms that made 5 resource buildings. And the plan was I was going to Anichan wanted me to take this as well, but I was fine with him taking it so we could have Dol Guldur and Minas Morgul. Also meant he gets a level up for SAURON, which is more important than me just having another outpost. You only need the one. You only need the one outpost. And getting the exiles is nice and easy, because I've already got 4 stud farms. The cost was decreased down to 320. And yep, just had my little scouts running around. And did you know, these scouts can actually cap points, like settlements and outposts. I did not know that until today. I was just sending him over, was wondering, oh, can he take the settlement? And guess what? He can. I think that's pretty cool, because it's not like this is a power like it is in Age of the Ring. It's something that comes from an outpost, so you do have to pay a bit of money and spend some time to get it. And Anichan was moving his overseers that he was summoning in the back. I would normally put my overseers with my orcs, even with the chance of them dying, just because the boosts they give to the orcs are worthwhile. But because I was going to be supporting him with cavalry, he could keep these in the back and just let them pile up until he got the level up. And so again, my plan was just going full cavalry, getting exiles, getting Edain cured, which is what I normally do, and then just going full upgrades, spending no time at all just doing anything other than going farms and peasants, and then into Rohirrim. Meanwhile, Anichan was just surviving from that last attack. He's got a lot of slaughterhouses and slave farms. He's just taken down a troll there, I think without pikemen, which is really impressive. Probably should have shown that a bit. He has got some marks, but he might have used them to take them down. Meanwhile, the dwarf AI has already moved to the centre and built Dale. We were planning to get rid of that very quickly. Angmar's already taken both. Oh no, only one. Only one outpost. But it's got 2 more Hall of the King's Men, so their spam is already relentless, and they've got 3 farms there. The dwarves had the same. Yeah, meanwhile, I just had my guys move over there. I did demolish this stud farm so I could get Edain from the assembly point. And yep, Anichan has moved his orcs over there to build Dol Guldur and Minas Morgul. And I believe at this point I was preparing to get the exiles. Oh no, I was saving up so I could get Fëanor straight away. So I can then banish him using Fëanor's banishment to exile, which gives extra damage and cooldown reduction on abilities. But if they die while Fëanor is still corrupted, then they cannot be remade if they've been banished. And yet, that was Fëanor coming onto the field. Fëanor is... I think they need to nerf this a bit. His attack post, infinite range, summons a tower, which spawns pretty powerful... I think these are Westfolders. Soldiers of Medicelled. And they're the same ones you can make from the Rohan captains. And yep, I'll get my Rohirrim ready. And yeah, this assembly point I'm just keeping around because of the reinforcements. When you're constantly travelling around with Rohirrim, you want to be able to get them into the fight, deal a lot of damage, potentially take some damage themselves, but then run back and heal so they could do it all again.
We're ready to ride out.
And I had built the armory as well, so I could start getting my upgrades to my economy. Because Rohan economy starts to fall off very quickly in the early game. Fëanor does help with that, with the cruel taxes. He does improve the economy of one building. And most of your units are very cheap in the early game, but you do have to still upgrade later on, or try and focus on getting ammo, which I believe I did do as well. As I said, we were focused predominantly in the back, and Anichan I saw had these pikemen. Maybe had them going through Bloodthirsty, just eating a couple of units of orcs to get them to level 5. They look pretty untouched, so it's more than likely that is the case. And yep, already I've got my exiles and Fëanor running around. Dwarves already building siege, and that's without having a single... outpost, so they just get that from their settlements anyway. And yet they have the armory, 3 mine shafts, the siege works where they were getting battle wagons and catapults, even though they technically can't right away because they need the siege plans. Oh no. Oh, here we go. There's something I didn't notice. So the dwarves just get a discount on everything anyway. And siege plans and elite equipment are immediately upgraded as soon as they get there. Okay. But they don't get the tools straight away. They do have to wait a while for that. But we were making an aggressive attack onto Dale, trying to get it out of there. Although the AI did have a tendency of getting a lot of pikes in my way, so I was planning on retreating. Yeah, that fell wind was kind of the last nail in the coffin for me. That Batwagon moved in, still dying to pikemen. I think I turned my peasants into exiles, whatever they're called, yeah, the traitors of Rohan, just so I could have them go out and fight. Meanwhile, me stockpiling 2,200. I believe I was going to spend that all on getting Eomer, or the exile camp is still an exile camp. Getting a little PowerPoint increase over my ally, Mordor, just from my Rohirrim constantly running around. Yeah, honestly, Rohirrim know how to stockpile so many PowerPoints. It's great. And yet I just kept seeing these axe throwers destroying these buildings. I'm like, no, you don't need to do that. You can stop. And of course, like all cavalry, they can kill any ranged unit with one strike if they're weak enough and you are strong enough. And yep, Anichan had just brought out Sauron in his flame form. He's only level 2, so probably not the best time to bring him out. I think he was still trying to save up for the Overseers, but I think when he Q commanded to move everything in, he might have just sent them in and they got destroyed. My exiles took a bit of damage running into those Rudar pikemen. It was a mistake. They do happen. And yeah, you can just see my money. It went. I've now got Eomer, and I've already got 1,900 back in the bank. Well, I believe I was about to buy Hammer. It was either Hammer or just more upgrades for my economy. As you can see here, forge tools. So we've got level 2 inside buildings, but still only level 1 outside buildings. And yeah, I saw the pikemen walking into my base. I went drastic measures. We've got the archery range and 2 towers in front of the base. Meanwhile, Anichan's overseers were there. Just trying my best to deal with these with taking as little damage as possible. It did not go well. I'm not going to lie, it did not go well. But I did eventually kill them by the arrow tower. Emma just kind of threw his spear and nothing happened. Oh yeah, and that was when Anichan politely pointed out that Gollum was north of the base. And if you didn't know, Sauron being one of the easiest ring heroes to get in the early game, can do some immense damage if he gets the ring early. So, with my enhanced speed of cavalry, I found Gollum, took him down, and Anichan had the pleasure of being able to move Sauron there freely. While he was focusing on doing that, I was helping him clear out a lot of the axe throwers. And this is where Angmar's split personality of all pikemen and axe throwers in the early game actually weakens them. Because I just went straight away, snapped my fingers, got it ready. I've now cured Theoden, so I can now put him back into the fray as well. And just upgraded my armory so I could then get the forged workers' tools. Got a couple of peasants, completely forgot I made them. As you do. So we have 3 heroes, all glorified, on their horses with 3 units of exiles. I believe at that point I was preparing for the King's Camp upgrade. Meanwhile, Anichan was learning the sad fact that if you're going to build buildings in a Mordor base, you have to have at least 4 economy and 2 military, but with a banner, just for the extra production speed. Bronze stone helm on him. However, I do say all of this knowing that Sauron is on the field now, in his perfect form, in his ring form. And meanwhile, my cavalry is just cleaning up any annoying units that we can that aren't pikemen. And for those that don't know, when Sauron is leveled up, any melee infantry or any units near him, as long as it's friendly, they just slowly regenerate units. And that works on allies as well, by the way. So if I was to keep near Sauron, you can see there all those purple lights are Sauron's ability activating. So orcs are permanently being regenerated. And then all I need to do was move back myself, and I can do the exact same thing. With rebuilding the troll there. Gandalf is on the field, although I must say at this point it is pretty safe to say it's game, set and match. But you know, we still have some problems. Angmar and the dwarves are both known for on camp starts to make siege equipment, which can do big damage to enemy heroes if they are allowed to. And I particularly do not like siege, so whenever I see a unit of siege, you know me, I see red and I go straight for it, even if it's through pikemen. And yet, this is why I kept the assembly post, just because the healing is really good. You could also get Hammer, rush to get Hammer, and then when he's in combat, nearby allies heal themselves as well, which is really good. Anichan is still only got the summon overseers, although I do believe he just got the rune reinforcements. And yet he's now building the battle banner, defense banner. So then if he uses influence of Sauron on that, these rune summons will come out with forward blades and heavy armor. And yet, talking about forward blades and heavy armor, the dwarves are already fully decked out. And meanwhile, I'm just charging full force into the enemy, going for that siege. Being very careful about the Khaldun pikes. They are a problem. They can kill my exiles in one unfortunate swing of their long pikes. A lot of Minas Morgul archers coming out. Boldar on the field. Glowin was on the field but is now defeated. The darkness that Sauron made when he entered the battlefield is now gone. Sauron's only level 4. But that does mean he does have the foul vitality, so he can heal half his health pool if he is missing any. He's also got the Burning Eye, so he makes enemy units flee in terror like the Drummer Trolls do, like the Nazgul do. A lot of things in the Mordor roster is just ways of dealing with enemy armies, and it's really good. That's why fear resistance is really important. And yep, he's also got the Eye of Sauron. I imagine that's just because he's getting Shelob. Yep, enemy heroes gain experience only half as fast. Allied units are resistant to fear. Enemies don't fight properly and can't gain experience. To be fair, the Eye of Sauron also reveals stealth. It's a very versatile ability, but it is mainly a negative for your opponents. It doesn't really do anything good for you, other than find Gollum if you need it. Got Ferdinand already level 5. I believe next to him is I can't tell because they're literally on top of each other. I can't tell if that's Harmer. Yep, I got Harmer out early. He just becomes very powerful and tanky, and I like how it mentions on this he takes almost no damage from enemy attacks, although he still will die to a unit of pikemen if they are too close to him. And yet I upgraded the camp to the King's Camp, so now I got my 3 units of Royal Vanguard, which are free in command points, which is really good. So we've got 6 units, and I'm also getting Erkenbrand, Elfhelm, and Grimbold. AI blighted my base because AI loves to focus me, even when I'm not the one at the front. So yep, Erkenbrand, for those that don't know, when he's chosen a form, he can summon a unit of that type that he's chosen. So if he's a swordsman unit, he can make a unit of swordsmen. If he's pikeman, he can make pikes. Or if he's cavalry, like I normally do it with, he summons another unit of the Knights of Meduseld. Elfhelm can heal nearby troops. I'm not exactly sure. Oh no, it just replaces lost battalions. So it's similar to Gamling's ability, but on a smaller scale. And also level 1. The enemy Witch King, by the way, popped up and was instantly taken out by Théoden. Talk about sweet retribution. And now at level 6 he can make Heralds of the King, which just gives nearby units leadership. And yet look at that, we're already getting a bunch of level 5 units. I did get the Druidine Stone because I was planning on going down the left side of the skill tree. I wanted to get 3 Hunters originally, but because I've got an ally that is fully melee, I thought, do I need to get a hero that might kind of work solo, that prefers to be with a small army of peasants? No, I decided just to keep things simple, have just one concentrated force to focus on.
We must take the fight to them.
And yeah, we've also got Grimbold, who just gets extra movement and armor. I demolished the archery range because I realised that Gamling is the only hero out of all of Rohan's roster that actually doesn't ride around and charge with a sword. He uses a bow when he is mounted, which makes him weaker on mount and makes him, and you should prefer to have him in melee. And again, I was going full cavalry. I have no reason to do anything but cavalry because Mordor's melee is much more effective than mine, especially when buffed by all of the Mordor heroes, or at least the enemy units were debuffed by the Mordor heroes. So a lot to unpack there. So yeah, Anichan, I gave this to him. He already built Minas Morgul, so he was about to build Dol Guldur. In fact, I think he might have already tried to build Dol Guldur. It got destroyed, and he's about to build it again. That does happen. Yeah, I was saving up for the stables so I could get the horse shields, which isn't a massive upgrade. It just gives extra armor against the things we're already not weak against. I've also got the highborn war horses, so any unit that was level 3 or above was going to get more health, slow down less from trampling, and our farms will give resources. And also the cavalry discounts from the sub-farms will affect the Royal Guard. And you can see when normally the horses are more of a normal breed. I don't really know how to explain it. When the horses are orange, they're unupgraded. When the horses are white, they are royal horses, so they just are even stronger. And a unit of exiles at level 5. Can't really read the stats, can move around so much. Yep, no, can't read them. Oh, it's at level 2, okay. Yeah, once I got level 2, the horses upgrade. Although I think the metal-sailed horses don't actually... Oh no, it's just because they're level 1 still. Once they get level 2, they'll upgrade as well. Meanwhile, Anichan had, I believe, used Influence of Sauron on... Or was about to use Influence of Sauron on the defense banner. So that he can get his... Oh no, he already has. Already used it on the defense banner. So the reinforcements of Rune and Harad show with Forged Blades and Heavy Armor already. Which is a really good upgrade. And also gives the Mumakil some nice war paint. And yeah, I go back to this place so many times. He's got 6 power points in the pocket. He just got avalanched. Good for that to happen to someone else instead of me for once. But as I heard that happening, I decided to rush in to help in the defense. And even though he was making siege equipment, I didn't judge. I don't judge when other people make siege equipment. It just means we can help make the game go a little bit quicker. And then an outbreak was played in the perfect position. It's going to melt away the orcs. And it's going to deal some decent damage to us, although I was very quick to just go, you know what, I'm going to destroy these settlements over here. They've got a lot of things I don't want to deal with. That's their base. Let's just fall back for a bit. Let's just fall back, recoup, do some things in the background, like maybe buying some of our equipment. Like heavy armor and forged blades and horse shields, get them ready. Maybe get some more captains lined up. Maybe get some pantry so I can get those captains. And look at that. Rohan cavalry, at their best, is incredible. I have to say, Rohan cavalry is the most satisfying way to play Rohan. And honestly, it's probably going full cavalry is perhaps the most satisfying way of playing a co-op multiplayer game of Edain. I'm not sure about Age of the Ring. I think Age of the Ring cavalry is a bit more touch and go. But definitely in Edain. With Rohan, I did this with Enlargers as well. Just went full Enlargers cav with Arwen, Glorfindel and Elrond. Gondor cav could be is really fun with this as well with Dol Amroth, Imrahil. Sadly, Glorfindel Wind Riders for Arnor aren't very fun. So I wouldn't recommend doing this with Arnor. Mordor sadly doesn't have cavalry, but you can do it with trolls. You can do it with trolls. It's not as fun as just like orc spam, but you can do it. You can do builds that you normally wouldn't do on a 1v1 in these multiplayer games, and that's what I've been trying to do in my free time with my friends. I've just been playing these games, just playing fun little builds. I know this is like my normal build for Rohan, but I not also have more pantries. So I'd have already have 1,500 command points, and I would be focusing on a secondary army of peasants with 3 hunters just to deal with any large pike units. I think Lothlorien, you can try doing this with Beornings. I think that might be interesting to try and do. Problem is though, Beornings are not fast, and the Outriders of Mirkwood are actually really weak. So Lothlorien's probably not one you do this with. Dwarves would be interesting to see, just with battle wagons. Battle wagons everywhere. Ram Riders as well with Iron Hills, King Dane and Narin. Although to be fair, any other dwarf faction, you just might as well just play normal dwarves. Normal dwarves is fun enough. What is next? Isengard, Warg Riders, oh no. No thank you. With Isengard you just rush straight away to your elite Uruk-hai and then see what happens from that. Angmar could be really fun doing this with werewolves, because you can devour enemies to heal health, or if you've got a good ally, they can build a well, and then you can just move over to there to heal them. And yeah, look at that. Fairdred is just the MVP. Throwing down those towers every half a minute, every minute. You can see them kind of everywhere. I'm not really showing them off very well. But yeah, these are some of the towers that I've had built for the entirety of the game. They've just not been touched. I've built a few somewhere else, but I kept getting them destroyed. And then yeah, we've got Forge Blades now out for my other units and Horse Shields. Fairness is only level 8, so we can't just glorious charge into enemy base and have fun with that, but we can have some fun with the Druidine's stones. Just run into enemy catapults and just get rid of them. Only worth 11 resources on a kill. Ugh, disgusting. Disgusting. Oh yeah, Mumakil destroyed this, by the way. If you can't tell by the corpse. The skeleton that remains. I kind of was doing my own thing for the entirety of this. We kind of had the luxury of just having fun with all of this because of the Ring Hero Sauron. Made Anichan really powerful on the front line. Meanwhile, I was just constantly running around doing wacky wavy stuff with my just perfect army of cavalry. And eventually I did also get banner carriers because, you know, getting units to level 2 so they regenerate while just moving around is good too. I decided to also arm the rally point because, you know, there might be some units that walk up here, might want to try and destroy my special building. Oh, and here we go, the Royal Guards of Rohan. I don't hate this unit. Trust me, I really don't hate it. I think it's definitely one of the best cavalry units in the game, considering its effects. It's just, it's really expensive. It requires 3 different upgrades. Same as the Glorfindel Wind Riders, except Glorfindel Wind Riders are even more trash than this. But yeah, the Royal Guards have some good abilities, but the fact they have so many restrictions behind them, I see why some people say the Cairo patch is pretty good for things like that, because it gets rid of the restrictions for some units. But I think if this unit wasn't restricted, it'd be too strong. Because for 30 seconds, extra armor and inflicts 150% damage against pikemen for Death and Glory, and Dauntless Advance can't be activated at the same time. That's the other ability, by the way, for Death and Glory. For 30 seconds, the Royal Guard slows 75% less when trampling and move faster, but have less armor. So this is more of a glass cannon. I've got no pikemen in my way. I'm going to trample over everything. Or Dauntless Advance. I'm going to hold my ground, and I'm going to remove every threat in my way. Oh yeah, that was me throwing out Card Break, just to fear all the enemy units, so we could get rid of some things. I was also summoning the Vanguard of Rohan. These guys don't really do much in ways of dealing damage. Their main thing is just anything they trample is weaker if they live. Like those, yeah. And by the way, this is a tier 2 power. For those that don't know, there's a tier 2 power behind after the attack command. And yeah, honestly, the left side of the Rohan power tree is actually really strong. I always go left just because we get the 3 hunters and the highborn warhorse. It just leads to a better late game more than anything else. And there we go, rushing into the enemy base, doing all we can to make sure the dwarves can't come back. And yeah, look at that, quick and decisive. Didn't even need the glorious charge, although I wish I did have the glorious charge. I can find Fade in here somewhere. Found Elf Helm. Where is he? He's got a golden helmet on. Found Fade again. There's Eomer, who was, I think, level 10 as well. There's Hammer, which I also banished, I think. Don't remember banishing him. I mean, there's extra damage. Oh yeah, and Hammer gets an ability where, you know, any hero he's fighting beside, he just gets some extra things. Gains more experience if he targets Fairden. If he's near Eomer, he does more damage. Near Eowyn, more damage against heroes. Gambling gains increased movement and vision. And Fairdred can't be slowed while trampling or knocked down. Oh, that was Kamul using his Peril of the Nazgul. You don't see this used every day. Instead was the building and caused it to share vision with Kamul for 1 minute. Sadly, he used it on the Dwarven Forge where everything is already bought. Oh, I'll let you know. They haven't bought heavy armor or fire arrows, but they bought the war masks and the forge blades. Oh, Sauron's in the enemy base. I'm not sure exactly how well he's doing. I need to switch to Anichan's view for that. He's just used Power Vitality, so he's healing again. I decided, you know what, they've suffered enough. I don't want to lose anything. I'm running away. And guess where I went? Oh, and by the way, he's got Morgul riders because I said my Theoden's charge would, for Death and Glory, would work with his cavalry. So we decided to get some Morgul riders. Because I honestly couldn't remember if it did or not, but I was 90% sure it worked. And I'm back again, fully healed after about a half a minute respite. Just ran back all the way. Got some Rohan captains now as well. I just bought all Rohan captains. Literally no Rohirrim lancers, no axe fighters, no Rohirrim archers. It's all royal guards, the Rohan exiles, the royal vanguard, and then all the Rohan captains. Everything is majestic. Is there anything that would be really good with cavalry? Dwarves? Yeah. No, I have spoken about every faction. Other funny builds I think would be Enlargers and Lawmasters. Because it's not a bad build. It would mean I'll be going with very few basic units. I'd be predominantly going Lawmasters. And I would have study halls instead of regular forges. But unlike most factions, you don't actually need a forge building to get your upgrades for your units. If you get the Power of the Firstborn, you can then just get all your units with full upgrades. Although I do think it means you can't get the Veterans of Last Alliance or Governors Windrise without having the upgrades. So that's why I still always go for. That's why I still always go for my special things. My build. Come all sort of flying overhead, and there we go. Glorious charge. Here we go. And look, it even affected the Morgul riders. And yep, we just charged in again. A little bit of lag. Yeah, look at that. I wasted no time getting rid of that citadel before they could even get their tier 4 power onto it to make their base even stronger. Or another fun build I could think of would be Temple of Twilight against sorcerers. Although to be fair, sorcerers aren't that strong. They would be a very you're playing very high economy and ranged, and you need to be focused. You need to have a very dependable ally. Yep, he's got a very Doggle focused army. Meanwhile, I'm just running behind this furnace to destroy it instantly. We destroy the outpost up north as well. He's finishing off with his catapult. Sorry. Castellan of Doggle, learning that even though they are amazing, they still have their limits if they are not careful. Because unfortunately, they are not very susceptible to single target damage from, say, an arrow tower. Yep, I just moved south to try and get that one last power point. I was so close. I was so close to that one last power point. I wanted to get the Ents. I wanted to save the Ents. That's why I got Cloudbreak. I wanted to just last march of the Ents, have a full, giant final hurrah. And oh, it was so close, but it was not to be, sadly. I was too impatient. I wanted to just send my cavalry in and kill everything. And that is what I did. This time, I think I focused on the military structure. And just cutting down everything. And this is what Rohan looks like at full command points, all cavalry. No wasted points. Perfect army. Oh, and there's just the Dark Nebula, whatever it's called. Sauron can do. And yeah, that was GG. Hope you all enjoyed this replay. If you did, please let me know, and I will endeavour to get more of them so we can show them off in the future. Because I do love these kind of jazzy battles. It's not something I can do all the time, but when I do get the chance to play with my friends, I do enjoy some games with them. So I hope you've all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Ta-ta for now.